The first time on the show was one of the best ones we've ever done. Certainly one of the most entertaining. We got after it. We listened to you and your beautiful wife play some music. I believe Rod Phillips was here.
Yeah, I remember
and Brian was here. Brian Combs.
Brian was here, and I remember there being a lot of beer.
A lot of beer, a lot of brown liquor. And a lot of brown liquor.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Combs brought some Pro Renata, and then we got the bottle of bourbon over here. But today, we're just having some fun. We're going to be talking about the Thursday concert series at the Clifton, and we got a tight friend of the program, the events and sales manager in the house, Nick Koulianos. You'll see him in a matter of moments. And damn, is this guy looking good. Oh my gosh.
Thanks, Jerry.
He's looking good with this suit. Wow. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about this fantastic series that's going to happen on a Thursday here at the Clifton in Keswick. No better band to kick it off than Coda and Marie. When we were thinking about putting this together, I mean, you guys were immediately the first that came to mind.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are honored. Thank you.
Sincerely mean that. And Judah Wickhauer is our director. We can rock and roll, Judah, as you check the feed and look at the stream when you are ready, my friend.
Wide on set.
Guys, welcome to the I Love Seville show. My name is Jerry Miller. Thank you kindly for joining us. A pleasure to connect with you guys through the network. Our audience, guys, is Central Virginia-wide, Commonwealth-wide, country-wide, and worldwide as we stream to every social media platform known to mankind. And it's our pleasure to connect with you guys through the network. And today's show is going to be dynamite. I'm so excited to highlight Coda Curl today on the program, so excited to highlight my friend on the program, and so very excited to highlight the Clifton in Keswick. Just a fantastic dining and lodging and quality of life experience. We're going to showcase what we think is going to be something truly special. A Thursday music series that starts tomorrow with Coda and Marie. And fortunately for us, and fortunately for you, we have one of our favorite musicians in the studio today with his trusted guitar, and he's going to absolutely just leave us with something to remember. Judah Wickhauer is our director. If you can go to the studio camera, my friend, and let's welcome the fellas to the show. Ladies, look at this guy right here. The guy is looking sharp. I would say the same thing about Coda. Coda's married. Coda's married.
I have an owl on my t-shirt.
This is a single man. That's pretty cool. As soon as Nick walked in here, both Coda, Judah, and I said, I think I'm slightly underdressed. The guy's flossing right here. Introduce yourself to everyone that's watching the show.
Hi, my name is Nick Koulianos. I do the event sales at Clifton. Anything event-wise that you can think of that is not a large wedding, that would be me. Get that planned for you, get that taken care of. I mean, like I said, any event that you can think of that you want to do there, I'll make that happen.
He has he's often the first person you will see there. He has a way with the guests, a way with the staff, just a fantastic representation of the Clifton. We'll welcome Virginia Beach to the show, Lynchburg, McLean to the program, friends in Nashville and in Buckhead outside of Atlanta on the program. Coda, your second rodeo. Your first one was memorable, arguably one of the most legendary from what we remember. My friend, introduce yourself to everyone that's watching the show.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Coda Curl. I think I am going to maybe steal Second Rodeo as a band name, though, so I kind of like that. But no, I have a band based out of Charlottesville called Chamomile and Whiskey that I started with my wife Marie, who regrettably can't be here today. She's farming today and likes to pass these things off onto me sometimes. So I usually talk more than her when we do this anyway. So. But yeah, so I'm really excited to be here. We're looking forward to being at the Clifton tomorrow. It's a beautiful spot. We've played there a couple times, but it's been a long time, so we're looking forward to being back and happy to be here with you guys today.
It's great to have you. We'll welcome our friends in Danville to the program. I see 5 states on the feed right now. So Nick, why don't we showcase the plan for tomorrow and what folks can expect with this Thursday evening music series?
Sure. So, we were trying to figure out a way that allowed people to come enjoy the Clifton, what Clifton has to offer, who normally wouldn't be able to go there. It is a pricey place to go for dinner, go for an event. So the big plan was just to bring a crowd, bring more people that don't get to go there. So the first thought, when we're brainstorming is, look at the space that we have, look at all these avenues that we can go down is music. Everybody likes music. it's a no-brainer. So it was like, boom, let's do music. Let's get a nice, approachable menu that people can come to and enjoy some drinks and enjoy some food that is a little bit different than the normal price range that we're operating in.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, guys. You can give Coda and Nick some props by leaving your thoughts in the comment section, like Johnny Tenney is doing right now, where he's throwing the heart emoji to Coda left and right over here. You got 6 states on the feed right now. Coda, you need no introduction. Dude, I followed you from, you're playing in I guess it's Market Street Park now for Tom Tom. I've seen you play at Dirty Nelly's, and what you're doing there with Jordan Bruck's outfit is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
I've seen you play everywhere. You guys speak for yourself. You're so talented. What is it about music you love, and why do you pursue it so hard?
It's the only thing I'm any good at, I guess. So, I don't know. I love performing and connecting with the audience, and I love playing music with my friends. And once we were young when we started, and it's like, wait a minute, I just got some free beers and a little bit of money and free dinner. Like I'm just gonna keep roll with this, and haven't had a real job in a while, so it's been fun.
How did you meet Marie, your beautiful wife?
So we grew up together in Nelson County, Virginia, and we knew each other since we were young, and then we kind of reconnected like at the end of college. I was playing music, and at the time I was playing at this little French restaurant in Nelson called Basic Necessities, and this couple wanted to hire me to play their wedding. And they really wanted a violinist. And I knew Marie played the violin. She was in a band that was pretty successful when we were in high school. And the other violin player I knew was a guy from the Hackensaw Boys. And I'm like,
wow.
I can't count for him to take a shower before this gig. So should probably call Marie. She might be a better fit for the wedding. And then we just kind of took off from there. And we started the band over 10 years ago now. So it's been quite a ride.
You guys are iconic. I will straight up say that. Doug Stegora, welcome to the program. Scott Aaronworth is watching in Virginia Beach. I have literally on 15 Facebook pages this show is airing on. I see half a dozen folks literally telling me stop talking and let Coda play. I swear to God we will get to that. Johnny says one of the best bands in Charlottesville, bar none. I can't agree more with that comment. Expectations. We got cocktails. We got food. It's an approachable situation.
So it'll be on our covered veranda, or our covered terrace, which is the back deck of the Clifton, and then utilizing the back lawn. We've used our banquet chef to customize a menu for this event, so we're going to have kind of some handheld items to make it easy, and then some dinner type items so people can come and enjoy different aspects of it. So we'll have things like a tuna tartare, shrimp ceviche, a cold meze platter, a picnic basket, which is a cool one. It'll be in a picnic basket. It'll have 2 sandwiches, pasta salad, fruit salad, and some cookies. We'll have a plate of lamb meatballs, and then a tuna tartine, which will be really nice. And then, absolutely, beer, wine, cocktails, anything you can drink and think of.
It sounds absolutely amazing. What makes the Clifton so special?
So the history of the Clifton going back originally it was actually built to be a center of commerce in Central Virginia. And that's way back, and then that kind of got altered later on. Things changed, and Charlottesville ended up being a booming city that it turned into. So where Clifton is located at was not actually the center of town that Charlottesville turned into. So it was actually the home of Thomas Jefferson's daughter, Martha Jefferson, and her husband, Thomas Mann Randolph, and that's why it's famous.
I absolutely love it, guys. 8 states on the program right now. Jeff Gary, welcome to the program. We love when you watch the show, guys. If you want to give props to Coda and Nick, just put it in the feed. All right, I hear what you're saying. I'm reading what you're writing. I got to stop talking. It's one of the things I do entirely too much. I think this is Coda's cue to take over, and the man is such a professional. He already could tell that was time. All right, my friend, before you play, give us a tease of what you're going to play.
Yeah, so when Marie and I play, we normally play with the full band, which is usually a little bit more raucous, a little louder. But for events like this, where it's kind of fun for us to strip down, just do the acoustic set. So we'll do some Camille Whiskey classics, but we'll probably do some deep cuts and some new songs as well. So I know I talked to a few fans of ours who are planning on coming, and they always, I think, get excited to see the stranger set list that we come up with for just the 2 of us. So
I like when you guys play together because of the intimacy of it.
Yeah.
You can tell that you guys are in love. You can tell that you guys love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I love seeing you 2 play together.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we enjoy it. I mean, it's some ways it's easier, but it's a little bit less work. Loading in, loading out, but at the same time,
You like the energy of the big band, right?
Yeah, we have a good drummer, so when you have a drummer, you can kind of just sit in what's happening a lot easier, and my mistakes aren't as noticeable. But yeah, if you see Marie kind of glare at me real quick tomorrow night, you'll know.
That's what my wife does to me. Is it when you miss something? Is that what she's doing?
Well, it's just amazing that we'll play like a Tom Petty song and I'll remember every word, and then I'll forget like four different lines in one of my songs. So things like that. But no, she's very nice to play with.
My friend, the show is yours.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try this one. I haven't played this guitar in a while, and this is a guitar that I inherited from my father. So I'm gonna try this song out. My father was a songwriter and a writer of various sorts, and my mom, after he passed away, found this like old Tupperware full of notebooks and notepads and things he had written. So one day I was kind of scanning through them, and I found this notebook that was mostly empty, and on one page it just said, "It's been a year since our last cigarette, ... And I'm assuming he wrote it. I'm not sure where it came from or exactly what it referred to, but I figured it might be a good line to start a song with. So that was the inspiration behind this one here. This is a new one. It's been a year since our last cigarette. I guess that don't matter now. And it's been so long since I've summoned my youth. I wonder, do I still know how? 'Cause the pages grow faded and the margins get thin. There's a never an end to our plans. And that old faithful touch can start to grow cold as time slips through your hands. And that old book of poems just sits there catching dust. Is it too late for lovers like us? Raindrops reflected on paper thin walls, naked on cold city nights. The bed on the floor where we'd make love as the couple next door would fight. Beat down, broken, hopeful, just a living off the lust. Is it too late for lovers like us? Left-handed blessings and shepherdless sheep. I'm standing on changed ground. Your dime store rosary and boots on the street. Honey, I still hear them now. And tell me, is it a sin to be blinded by trust? Is it too late for lovers like us? Is it too late for lovers like us?
Beautiful.
Nice.
Absolutely beautiful. Father, what he means to you and how he inspired you as a musician.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with guitars and pianos around the house. I mean, my name, Coda, is a songwriting term. It's a term in sheet music that means kind of like, you go to that for the ending, and my parents thought I was going to be their last kid. They were wrong by 2, but yeah, I mean, it was great to always have, music around the house. I grew up listening to John Prine and Bob Dylan and all the great songwriters. But honestly, when, he had cancer, and before he passed away and he knew he was terminally ill, he told me, that when he was younger, he didn't really push himself as hard on the business side of things because he kind of just felt like he was an artist, and that kind of stuff was a little bit beneath him. And, he just told me, you don't want to wind up, 59, knowing you're going to die soon, wondering what would have happened if you had tried a little harder or maybe cared a little bit less what other people thought. And I think it's a difficult thing for someone to admit, but it was a very powerful lesson that I've been taken with me my entire adult life. So
Well said.
I appreciated that very much.
And you've gone for it, dude. You've gone like balls to the wall, pursuing your dreams, and I admire that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oftentimes, you see, the music business, obviously a difficult one, and oftentimes you see musicians with like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're completely pot committed here. I mean, this is your living.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it's impressive to me. You guys made just like such a killer brand and name for yourself. How has Nelson County influenced your music?
Well, yeah, Nelson's a really special place. It's really eclectic. There's a lot of music. When I grew up, we'd go to these barn parties, with all of my, hippie parents' friends, and they would play music all night long and drink beer, and all the kids would kind of run around, and I guess I kind of thought that was normal for everyone. They go, oh, everyone's dads are in bands, and you get a little older and realize that's not always true. But it's a special place. It's a beautiful place. I think when you spend time the outdoors, it's always good for inspiration artistically as well. And even to this day, a lot of the area's best bands have at least 1 or 2 members from Nelson County. So. It was a good incubator, and then to have it kind of be connected to Charlottesville the way it is, which obviously is also a great music town, especially considering, how small. The amount of bands we get coming through and coming out of Charlottesville, even though it's a relatively small town, it kind of made for the perfect 1-2 punch, I think.
I love it. Miles Pierce giving you props. Laura Jones giving you props. Laurel Mastatello giving you some props right now. Brian Diebler props. Jan Mahone props. 9 states watching you guys literally on the show on our heat map right here. Nick, what is it you love about Coda? For me, like, the voice resonates with me. It's a voice that has some pain and some love and like some experience. And like when I hear him sing, I hear a voice that has truly lived life to its full zest. With Coda. What is it you love about this band?
Sure. To piggyback on what you're saying, it's like I think to be a great musician, I think you definitely need to have some pain to like come up with some songs and to like put your emotion and your feelings into that. And I agree with you. Like the voice is awesome. You're just an awesome musician. Like when we were planning this, like Jerry said, Chamomile Whiskey was the first group that was like, boom, who are we going to get? Like, boom. It was a no-brainer. It was an easy choice.
I'm not doing this by myself again, though. I need someone else to be able to praise a little bit. You guys are being too kind.
We can follow you around if you need to. Chris Magnus, welcome to the show. He's watching the show. So here's a good one for you. This is a very good question. Inspiration, this is from Laura, who's watching the program. She's watching in Richmond. Coda's inspiration from vocals, songwriting, and guitar playing. 3 different ones, 3 different answers she's asking.
Okay, singing wise, I'm kind of I have the voice that I have. I'm not the most classically trained singer, but I grew up listening to a lot of soul music, and obviously the greats there, Al Green and Stevie Wonder. Not that I try to sing like them per se, but I grew up listening to a lot of different singers, but I kind of just have the voice I have. Songwriting. John Prine is a hero of mine. Tom Petty, Townes Van Zandt, Blaze Foley, and then local people too. Bobby St. Hours, my friend Robert St. Hours, who's founded the Hackensaw Boys, one of the best songwriters you'll ever hear in your life. And guitar playing, I'm not the best guitar player either. So, but I'm a huge Neil Young fan. I kind of like the way that he seems to kind of work out some demons and emotions the way that he hits the guitar. So I guess sometimes I might draw some inspiration from him as a guitar player and as a songwriter, honestly.
TJ Martin giving you some props right here. Guys, if you want to ask Coda a question, put it in the feed. I'll relay it live on air here on the I Love Seville show. So put in perspective how it changes for you. You're a front man, you're a fantastic front man. The energy on stage is, I've been front row with probably 12, 14 of your shows. It's palpable, it's tangible, I feel it. Can you put in perspective how the front man's responsibility changes when he's working like a stage like Pro Renata or like the Pavilion versus an intimate environment tomorrow at the Clifton when it's going to be you and your wife in an acoustic setting?
Yeah, I think some people do it better than others, but you have to approach each room differently. We've played in front of 5,000 people and we've played in front of 5 people or less plenty of times. So I think for a show like this, when it's especially since it's local, when we'll have fans there that have heard us before, you have an opportunity to kind of tell more stories, kind of behind the scenes stuff, kind of like what I just did there, just like kind of giving people a little more context. When you're at a big show and it's rocking, you don't want to stop and necessarily talk too much, although I think I do that sometimes. But
you have the gift of gab. I would say your wife would probably say that as well. You have the gift of gab.
But yeah, I mean, at a big show, you want to keep things moving a little bit more, I think. At a show like this, where you're doing the more stripped down thing, I think it's cool to tell some stories, some behind the scenes things. And at this point, we have a lot of stories. So I think that you just have to read the room a little bit. And I've seen plenty of bands do it incredibly well. And you see a band every once in a while that just doesn't, and you're like, oh, come on, you're going the wrong direction here, with this crowd. But I would anticipate the Clifton being such a beautiful place. I would anticipate a very good crowd tomorrow night of good music people. So we're looking forward to it.
This question's coming in for Nick. Multiple moms have asked this question. Specials for kids at all? We want to bring our families here. We love the timing, and it's Thursday. Any specials for kids?
Okay, so in terms of specials, I don't know if we'll have specials, but we can do our usual. We have chicken tenders, we have French fries, we have some pasta, butter noodles, pasta, and then don't quote me on this, a potential burger option, cheeseburger, I think is a possibility. I'd have to get some approval on that one. But yeah, in terms of what we're looking at menu-wise, special, no kid-dedicated items, which is actually something, that might need to be brought up, But
they certainly have the food that's going to accommodate the kids' palates, undoubtedly. Thank you for that question.
Yeah, great question.
So how about this one for Coda? The next song that you want to play for us, and a little significance or history behind it, because I love when you showcase the meaning behind what you're playing here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to try to keep a little mystery there. I feel like you got to let, you don't want to give it all your secrets away, but yeah, it is nice to provide a little context. Let me see here. I could do, I'll do another new one here. It's talking about Nelson County. This one's called Naked Mountain. And,
Naked Mountain?
I grew up on a little road called Wheeler's Cove, and a friend of ours lives kind of near that area, and there's a mountain called Naked Mountain kind of on the back end from where I grew up. And we were watering her plants one night. My wife was kind of taking care of her garden when she was out of town, and I was sitting on the back deck watching the sunset over Naked Mountain, and kind of put this one together here. So this is kind of a Charlottesville to Nelson County connection. Try to pick it up a little bit here for you guys. Took some back roads to Shipman out of town. Passed a couple double wides with tomatoes in the ground, and dirt weed and dahlias and garlic by the pound. Gonna watch that naked mountain sun go down. Seen a rich man with a sign out in his yard, saying no more music round here. This life, it must be so hard. Couple homegirls down by the river, sip a little gin. Some folks would call it trespassing, but they just jumped right in. Nobody asked you, nobody asked me. Oh, but everybody's telling everybody how to be. My mama, she's always had my back. You probably know not everyone is as lucky as that. And I hope you got somebody who can pull you up off the mat. And when the shit goes down, shows up with the shovel asking where's the body at.
Marie's looking at you.
If it's a song like this, you can just keep playing these chords, we'll be alright. There it is, okay. I know some old men who like to bitch and moan. They don't like no one that ain't like them, and they won't leave us alone. And it's harder for most than it is for me, but it still gets me down. But pretty soon those mean old men will be lonely in the ground. Nobody asked you, nobody asked me. Oh, but everybody's telling everybody how to be. can put one back, or you can honky tonk or twerk. You can lay around all day long, or you can grind away at work. You can get done up and get right on down in that sacred garden dirt. 'Cause life is hard, it's far too short, and it's damn sure gonna hurt. Nobody asked you, nobody asked me, oh, but everybody's telling everybody how to be. Nobody asked you, sure as hell didn't ask me, oh, but everybody's telling everybody how to be, how to be.
Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Olivia Branch watching the program, the Queen of Keswick. She says, she says, great artist, awesome in, perfect combination for a Thursday evening. Olivia, we hope to see you tomorrow night. It's going to be the spot right there, Olivia Branch. You're going to love this one. This is from Spencer, who's watching in Nags Head, North Carolina. Jerry, I grew up in Charlottesville watching Coda play. I'm now in Nags Head, and Coda makes me miss home. In all seriousness, this is one of the best artists in the community, and can you please ask him where I can buy the hat he is wearing right now?
What hat am I wearing? This is still early for me. So this hat, I get a lot of compliments on this hat. This hat is, I think I found it at a thrift store on tour, like in Santa Fe or something. Nice. It was just a random find, but I found out that it's like a naval ship hat. So a guy from the Navy told me that they would make these hats and all the ships were named after states. So it's not actually about the state Virginia, but my grandfather was in the Navy, World War II, so I feel like I can pull it off maybe.
You can pull it off.
I might offend somebody with that, but
you can pull it off. Multiple ladies, and Benjamin Myrtle, welcome to the program. Multiple ladies are asking about the shirt. Can we get a close-up of the shirt here? The shirt is resonating with the viewers and listeners. Man. Judah's got your shirt on a one-shot right now.
This is actually a pretty good story. This shirt, my wife got me this shirt. Normally I dress myself, but her grandmother, who passed away recently, used to volunteer at this place called Corkscrew Swamp in Florida, where she lived. It's really cool, like walk where you see all these birds and alligators and stuff, and I guess owls sometimes. So she got me this shirt from their little gift shop, and so it's kind of cool. It's got a little, got a little family connection. But yeah, I honestly didn't put a lot of thought into my outfit today, but
you're on camera, baby, with a lot of viewers. Vanessa Parkhill is watching in Earlysville. Vanessa is the queen of Earlysville. She says, great lyrics, great performance, fantastic artist. Is it I sincerely mean this, dude. You are so freaking talented. Is it the songwriting? Is it the performing? The connecting with the crowd? Because
it's
dude,
all of it, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, for me, it's like once I got really into. When I was younger, I think it was more like, I just want to be in a band. It's so much fun. You feel like you get this group of friends. All of my bandmates over the years, and there's been a number of them, have been my best friends. So it kind of just started like that. It was just fun to play music, but as I've gotten older and hopefully gotten better at it now, like songwriting is kind of this like thing I'm always chasing in my head. Like I have trouble sleeping sometimes because I'll be like kind of trying to fall asleep, and then I'll get an idea for a line, and then I'm like, God, now I gotta write this down.
Do you keep a notebook by your bed just in case?
Mine's my phone. I probably have
more efficient
400 voice memos that are like mixtures of lyrics or little guitar riffs and stuff. But you have to. We were lucky enough to over the pandemic we were in this TV show called Dope Sick, and they used our original music in it, and
you guys were in it.
Yeah, I've
seen it.
Yeah.
A Hulu show featuring Michael Keaton. Mm-hmm. They were fantastic. You guys were in it. I was watching this randomly.
Yeah.
I had no idea you guys were in it. I'm sitting there late at night having some fun.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I see Coda and freaking Marie in here, and I'm like, Lauren, my wife, that's them. She's like, you're waking up our son. Stop it.
Yeah, and it's like when you do something like that. It was a really, we were. I was totally out of work, and it was a rough time for a lot of people, and but that was a really big thing for us, and it's kind of fun to be like, okay, well, I'm glad I wrote down that idea for a song because years later it winds up, in a show with Michael Keaton, So, but now that that's happened, and we're trying to do more of that kind of stuff, I'm like, I have to write down every idea that I have, or any lick, because you just never know when something might be right, for a situation like that. So it was. I definitely am. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like an ongoing puzzle. Just trying to kind of find the next song. Without at risk of sounding too pretentious about it. But,
I don't think you sound pretentious at all. I feel like that's life.
Right.
Ruth Ann Gerald, welcome to the program. She's throwing you the heart emojis left and right here. Ruth, welcome to the show. Nick, this question for you. The moms are jumping in here. We would love to see the families tomorrow at the Clifton.
Oh, yeah.
The time of the event. Also, where it's going to be held, Coda Marie, at the Clifton specifically, and thoughts on children and if they're able to run it all in the grass while the mom and dads are partaking with a few libations.
Yeah. So our dinner service is 5 to 9. I think we're looking at his music like 6 to 8-ish, 8:30, something like that. So it's not going to be taking place during the whole dinner service. So there'll be breaks for Coda and Marie. There'll be a leeway time for people to arrive and things like that. If you've ever been to the Clifton before, we do have 2 huge back lawns. I mean, possibility of setting up cornhole on the lawn for people to be playing yard games, different things like that. But yeah, there is absolutely space for kids to be enjoying themselves if you want to stand up on the terrace and listen to his music and a little dancing.
Lifeguards where the kids run around.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, bring the kids, bring the whole families. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's welcome.
Krista Jones, welcome to the broadcast. Love when you watch the show, Krista. And let's all compliment Nick on the suit, dude. He's flossing right here.
I feel like that's why all the moms are chiming in.
Yeah, I know, dude. This is all we need for the moms is put this guy out here. I mean, he's looking sharp and representing the Clifton quite well.
Thank you.
People are saying more Coda, more Coda, more Coda. I know my cue, Coda. It's to stop talking here.
Okay. Let's see. What song to play next? Yeah, I'll try this one. This might be a little tricky on this situation, but I'll try. We've got a lot of new material coming out soon. Actually, you know what I'll do is. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna switch it up. I wrote this song driving out to Nelson County, and I heard a song from my youth came on, and it just like rushed back all this nostalgia, and I wound up like taking a wrong turn like on a road, like kind of towards like a place I used to live, and I just like I don't know, I think I just kind of got lost in this song and the nostalgia of the moment, and figured it was probably a good excuse to write a song. So this is a newer one here too. We got some new music coming out soon, so we got a lot of new material. There's a brush pile burning somewhere on the Gothic wind. On the lawn chairs out back, talking shit with my friends. And bright leaf tobacco and a chill on the air. 2 lane byways and small engine repair. Now the headlights flicker like an old picture show through the cracks in the blind of the kitchen window. The time doesn't stop, but sometimes it seems to slow. Yesterday's gone. Now it's getting dark early, and the sun is sinking fast. I wish we were out back, stacking locust and ash. When I was a child, I would chase the falling leaves. And I guess getting older is just having more to grieve. Now I've been getting stuck in my head in the past, answering the questions I was too afraid to ask. Sipping long and slow from that old familiar glass. Yesterday's gone. play. The back road winds and my mind slips away. Frame by frame, I still see it today. Yesterday is gone. Oh, yesterday is gone. Yesterday is gone. Oh, yesterday is gone.
Nick, so beautiful, right?
It's a great song.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So
Good song.
beautiful. The fantastic drummer, Rob Hubbard, watching the program.
Oh,
Rob
Rob.
Hubbard, I love you. I'm going to hype Rob Hubbard. Former teacher at Western, now an attorney, plays a mean set of drums.
Played
Rob
some Camille
Hubbard.
Whiskey shows over the
Yeah,
years.
dude is a beast and just so beloved by the musical community, and you know that because he moonlights in so many bands. And his style is so adaptable. I love you, Robinson Hubbard, so much. This is a fantastic question. We'll thank Renee Mitchie for watching, Barry Collins for watching, Michael Stang for watching. Dude, you legitimately have 11 states on the show right now on our heat map. This is a great question. And a question like this is going to come from someone that has a special relationship with their partner or significant other. And Kelsey is asking Coda specifically, what's it like to do something so vulnerable and so intimate, as Jerry said, in front of so many people with someone you love so dearly? Wow.
Yeah.
Better get this one right here, Coda.
No, it can be a very powerful thing. I mean, we've been doing this pretty much since. I mean, I dropped out of college when we got a record deal, and Marie finished, but we've been doing this basically our entire adult lives. So we're in our 30s now, and it's special. I mean, it's difficult, to be honest. I mean, to work with your partner is challenging, and touring is hard, and we've done well for ourselves, but we're still, I mean, we're not rolling in it by any point, by any means, but so it's a lot of work, but it's also very rewarding. I mean, I don't know, I never had too much trouble. The vulnerable side of it was never a big deal for me. I never really minded being honest on stage or whatever, but there are definitely moments, great shows that we've had where we kind of both look at each other like, can't believe that we get to do this, So it's very meaningful. It's difficult, but it's well worth the challenges that come with it, I think.
Matthew asked this question, and Matthew's watching in Pennsylvania. What's the thing he likes the least about being a musician? It's got to be some things, right?
The lack of health insurance. No. Lack of pay. My siblings are like, oh yeah, I'm just taking my paid vacation. It's like, although I guess sometimes we get to play on the beach, so I mean, it's definitely grueling. Touring is hard. It's with COVID, things have been different. We haven't been touring as much the last couple of years, obviously, but I mean, being away from home, working a lot on the weekends, like. We miss a lot of things, that I would love to be at, other band shows or family parties and stuff that you have to, sacrifice some time. So I would say probably just the unorthodox scheduling of it all is tricky, but
Sure.
It's why it's great when we can do something like this. The Clifton Inn is 15 minutes from my house. That's appreciated. but yeah, I mean, there are a lot of difficult things. You deal with some disrespect in certain situations too, I think, and people who don't take it. Don't really appreciate that can be an actual serious endeavor that, you making a living off of something that, people feel like you should just be lucky, you should be thankful that you get to play music, and there's, I guess, people who I think kind of cross some boundaries with that kind of thought process, and, but that's, I think, a relatively small number. In general, we mostly just receive a lot of really, positive reactions and good people, but yeah, there's definitely times where I feel like maybe it's a little disrespected in certain ways, but everyone's got difficulties with their job, so I can't complain too much.
Sure. Scotty Aaronworth in Virginia Beach. We love when you watch the program. Hello, my friend. This is a great question right here. Christopher wants to know, how did the band make it through COVID? I can offer a little perspective of that. I was so impressed with your innovation when you were at your piano at home and you were doing performances digitally, via the computer, via camera setup, and you had a Venmo link in where people can support you. Put the COVID 2-year period in transition, how you made it through, and the difficulty for you personally, because let's face it, one of your favorite things is connecting with people.
Yeah.
And you have that gift. And you went pretty much, 2 years without having that gift of connection.
Yeah, I mean, it was really difficult. I mean, it was the first month or so, I think, was the worst, because like I was, I couldn't, have trouble sleeping, just not knowing how you're going to pay your rent. And, we were really lucky that the live streams were great. We had a lot of really supportive fans that really helped carry me through that time. And, at one point, I think we got a grant from the Grammy Association that was really helpful. And
Nice.
we went up with the Dope Sick was huge. The Dope Sick placement was huge. But yeah, it was tricky. I mean, I will say if you are listening out there and you're thinking about trying to make a living off of your art, you got to keep your expenses as low as possible. Like I try to really not have too many bills because you just never know. Like my backup plan was always, if the band, breaks up or whatever, I'm just going to take the van and my guitar and I'm just go play dive bars by myself and I can just travel around and I'll be fine, And then when COVID was like, wait, my backup plan doesn't work either, So, but yeah, I mean, it was very challenging, but there was a lot of lovely people that really supported us in different ways. I mean, I don't know if Dee and Claudia ever watched this, but they're a lovely couple that come to a lot of shows. And I mean, they showed up at one point with just baskets and baskets of food they had made us, and that they were doing for a lot of local musicians who were out of work. And,
That's awesome.
It was actually really amazing to realize how many supportive people we have in our lives. But yeah, we definitely got by with some help from our friends. It wasn't we couldn't have done it without them. And the live streaming, it's not my favorite way to play a show by any means, but it was cool to be able to see people commenting while you're playing, kind of like what we're doing now, and just be able to do it from your living room.
Right.
was very nice. So we were lucky that it happened with all this these technological advances.
Right, could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. Rain and Connie Matternick watching the program here. A couple of radio stations on the stream watching Coda as we speak. Nick, the abundance of riches we have in Central Virginia.
Yeah.
We have phenomenal food at the Clifton. We have bands like Coda and Marie's band. I mean, we are literally living in one of the best places to live. Put that in perspective for us.
It's a pretty great spot to live. I mean, you're 3 hours from the beach. You're in the start of the mountains. I mean, you can kind of hit any sort of terrain you want to go to in Charlottesville. Again, like you said, I mean, God, how many restaurants are in Charlottesville, and then that pop up and change and kind of adapt to stay in town. I mean, the music scene is just constantly evolving. I mean, it's a pretty interesting spot to live.
Jamie Turner on the broadcast right now. We love when JT watches the show. He's repping the Pep and Culpeper, the mayor of Gordonsville. He says, I saw chamomile and whiskey for the first time at the Orange County Wine Festival. We had packed up to leave after the first group played. We walked to the car, and then I heard his voice, and I literally turned around and walked back into the venue to hear the whole show.
So nice.
I could not believe it. They are easily the best show I've seen in Central Virginia, and it's not even close. Jamie Turner, mayor of Gordonsville, dropping some knowledge right here. Dude leaves the event, hears your voice, turns around and comes back in the event. Orange County Wine Festival, I have a feeling you should book chamomile and whiskey again for future iterations.
It must have been some good wine.
What does that mean to you? I mean, listen, dude, you're adored.
It means a lot. It really does. I mean, everyone's being so nice. I feel like usually on the internet, everyone's really mean to each other. So this is nice. Good job, everybody. No, I appreciate it. I mean, like I said, we've done it for a while. Like I feel like it. I feel like we're pretty good at it. But you still, I mean, it's great to know that what you're doing, means something to somebody.
Well said.
So we appreciate it.
Well said. Folks are asking for more Coda. More Coda.
Okay,
Can we do 2 more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 2 more?
I got nothing else
good to
going
me.
on.
Let's do it. Fantastic.
All right, this one is one I'm gonna just. You can work on this one yourself, I guess, in your own head. Worn out welcomes, wasted time, empty veins with a heart to mine, deep breaths drawn, gone and blind, worn out welcomes and wasted time. How sweet my love, how sweet and cruel, how sweet my love, heart and full, so sweet my baby, burning clean, ships in the night, hard luck dreams. I'm seeing seeing stars that night birds call. I trust the process gonna have us apart. Take me down, baby, no trouble at all. I'm seeing stars that the night birds call. How sweet my love, how sweet and cruel, how sweet my love, heart and fool. So sweet my baby, burning clean. Ships in the night and hard luck dreams. Lonesome grind's a losing fight. I'm down and up most every night. Can't seem to shake this appetite. A lonesome grind is a losing fight. How sweet my love, how sweet and cruel, how sweet my love, heart and fool. So sweet my baby, burning clean. Ships in the night and hard luck dreams.
Oh, so pretty. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous.
Nice.
Susanna Rosen, a musician and a front woman herself, says, "Get it, Coda, get it. love your voice and your playing." She says, "Dude, your page in particular is blowing the hell up right now. This guy's got a lot of friends and a lot of fans." Ian Gilliam, hello. This is Kin watching here, right? Kestrel Blue Curl.
My little sister.
Watching, giving you some props. Throw up the heart emojis. You're getting the heart emojis left and right. Rodriguez Vest giving you some props. Mike Henrietta giving you some props. Melissa Shirley giving you some props. A question for Nick as we weave them into the mix here. Sure. Is it a free event? When we get there, can you give us an idea for cocktails and drinks, because it's after work and I'm going to need a few? That's sure. Thomas watching the show.
Yeah, so the event is completely free. You just need to show up and enjoy the music. We're going to have a customized menu, which I talked about earlier, which would be much cheaper. But yeah, otherwise, completely free. We want you to come. We want you to bring your family. We want you to bring your friends. We want you to bring your kids. If you are planning on, enjoying the lawn, I definitely recommend maybe bringing a blanket of some sort, just so you can, pop that down and not sit on the grass, or sit on the grass, up to you. But yeah.
Very well said. This question, and the weather looks absolutely fantastic for tomorrow, guys.
It does look great.
I mean, we're going to have weather in the upper 70s tomorrow night at the Clifton in Keswick. This for Coda, and this is from a fan, Brian, who's a UVA grad who has moved to Williamsburg. He says, "Coda, your favorite venues in Charlottesville, let's do it this way: small venue, medium-sized venue, and big venue." That way you can get as many in there as possible. He's watching in Williamsburg.
Piss off some other venues. Well, a small venue, I'd have to say, our headquarters, Dirty Nelly's. Our old tour manager bought Dirty Nelly's recently, and
Jordan Bronk.
Jordan.
I grew up with him.
Jordan is
known him since the 4th grade.
Man, I bet he was pretty nice back then too.
He was a hell of a goalkeeper. Ask him about being a goalkeeper.
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, he's a wonderful friend. I love him dearly. And yeah, we've been doing some fun stuff there. We did a little pop-up show to celebrate winning the best in Seaville. But we also practice there live a lot of times. So if you come in on a Monday night, you might see us practicing, which confuses people sometimes. But let's see. I mean, medium-sized venue, I would probably have to say, I would say the Southern is a great one. Had some great nights there. The Prairie Nada is doing great stuff. I don't know if you would call that medium or big. It's kind of in the
It's getting
middle.
big, right?
It's pretty big, I guess.
Yeah.
But they've got the outdoor and the indoor stages. Always love playing there. And then as big venue goes, I mean, the Pavilion's wonderful, and the Jefferson is kind of it's probably where we played the most over the years. We played the Jefferson a lot. We're talking about doing that again soon, so hopefully we'll announce that before too long. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. We're so lucky. There's so many good venues around here. But I mean, I think when we first started out, we were very young. Like the first time we played the Jefferson, that was kind of like an exciting moment. Like,
That's big time.
We're doing something here.
Yeah.
You know? And then, fortunately, everyone from Nelson County showed up, and they booked us again because they all drank so much. Yeah, but I would say we were lucky. There's a lot of good rooms. I'm sure I'm forgetting some off the top of my head, but we are lucky to have so many good venues around here.
It's
and
an abundance.
The garage up there, that's a good small venue. That's a really cool one. The one-car garage.
Why don't we give Jordan some props? I love Jordan Bronk. What you're doing with Dirty Nellies, dude, what he's doing with Dirty Nellies is like the real deal. And I want to emphasize this. Toby and Gary and the gang over there, they've done a hell of a job for so long at Dirty Nellies. I lived south side of Charlottesville for 14 years, and I would frequent that bar all the time. I love the sandwiches. I love the beer. I'm not throwing shade on anyone. But I think what Jordan has done is he's, I don't want to use the word revitalized it, but he's tried different things. He's brought a little new flavor to it.
Yeah, I mean, Gary still comes in. Because I've lived in that neighborhood forever, and I think that he wanted it to stay Dirty Nellies, but in Charlottesville, I think a lot of people who were interested in it didn't want to keep the dive bar. So Jordan, I feel like he kind of saved it in a lot of ways.
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, you need a dive bar. You need spots for the weirdos and the straight. You need a place that you can you can come in a suit or in your mechanic's outfit. And no one's gonna carry their way. But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, it's everyone. I only book the music. People think I am more involved than I am, but everyone that works there is so wonderful. And but yeah, I think it starts from the top because Jordan is just as good as it gets. I'm sure he's not watching this, but
someone tag Jordan. I need to send him a text message right now. I will do it.
He's a busy guy.
I know he is.
He's watching this.
He also owns Buddhist on Elliewood, so he's got 2 restaurants. He's a very busy guy. Nice. Luna is blowing you kisses right now from home. Is that your niece?
My niece, yeah.
She's blowing you kisses?
Fan. She's only a little over 1 year old, and I haven't seen her in a while. I miss her, but my sister sends me videos of her rocking out to our music, and she gets all excited when she sees our Spotify page on the TV. So that means. The Matternicks
say Chamomile and Whiskey is a great band. Coda's an incredible songwriter. There are also many bands and songwriters that many do not know because perhaps they don't fit the mold. There are so many great stories that are inspirational here that people need to hear about. That's a great comment right there, Coda. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's tough. Some of my favorite songwriters aren't super well known, and it's the way that the music industry is now. There's a lot of small, groups, and you don't really songwriting. I don't think is something that's super valued at the highest levels of listenership. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. The kind of songwriting maybe that I like I think what people do with really big pop songs and stuff it's a skill set that I don't have that I think is something that's very valuable. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of you have to be willing to kind of do some digging to find some new acts sometimes, because there's a lot of good stuff out there that is under the radar.
How about this one? And Bob Shada says, Coda rules. Bob Shada, I love seeing you at Vivace, homie. I hope you're doing well. This is a very good one. How has the internet and social media specifically changed the music industry, Coda?
We could talk about that for two shows if you wanted. I think it's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives. I mean, on the one hand, you have these free tools to potentially reach a lot of people, so that is, I think, great. On the other hand, it takes away from the art quite a bit. I think that as I get older, I'm way less concerned with pandering to people on social media. We still do it plenty, but it doesn't have anything to do with coming up with a good Instagram post is not something that I really care about that much. But I see younger musicians, especially it's hard because if you want to become a doctor, there's a pretty good plan. It's a really long, arduous process, but there's a plan kind of set up for you, and that's not really the case being a musician. There's no real rules. So I see people being okay, well, what can I work really hard at? And then they go really into social media, and it's well, maybe if you should work harder on writing that song, or I don't know, maybe. And I could be wrong. I mean, we've had some success, but we're not as successful as we'd like to be. But I think it's a really double-edged sword. I mean, there's it's great you can do something like this and reach a lot of people and get all this love, but then also it's really easy to get a lot of vitriol and hate.
Oh, no doubt.
So
I know firsthand.
Yeah, so it's just like I said. I mean, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't do the social media myself much at all, and I'm trying to do less of that. But I think it does kind of drains on you a little bit. But at the same time, it's really lucky that we have things like Spotify, and I mean, there's a lot of bad aspects of Spotify too. But I mean, it's great that you can easily share what you do with a lot of people very
Sure.
quickly. So that aspect, I think I'm very lucky for. The live streams obviously were a big thing that helped us a lot. So I'd say there's some really good aspects of it, as long as some kind of negative ones too.
Philip Dow, the King of Scottsville on the show. Liz Newman, wonderful, lovely, such an amazing performer, so talented with such a great voice. Coda is the absolute best. Liz, thank you for commenting. Your favorite venues in town, Nick?
Honestly,
Clifton, very good.
The Clifton, as of tomorrow, the Clifton is
The
going to be
events manager.
tomorrow's going to be the best venue. Starting.
He said the Clifton.
I do love the Clifton.
But the Southern was when you asked Coda, that was the first thing that popped into my mind. The Southern's awesome. I mean,
Really
like
is.
the sound that you get down there, and just the way they've got that set up. I mean, I think that's my favorite spot to check out music at. Truthfully, like I don't think I could pick something somewhere better.
Your father-in-law giving you some props right now. Mike says, I like how Charlottesville offers these little-known musicians a place to play, even if it's just busking on the downtown mall like my daughter did when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Why is there so much musical talent depth in a town that's, 50,000 people, in a region that's, 285, 300,000 people? It's not huge.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, I think part of it is the mix of like all the. I mean, I don't know, and I think Mike might have a better answer than I would. He's been around the area longer than I have, but I mean, I think at least somewhat recently, you have so many places to play. There's so many venues, there's breweries and restaurants and hotels and different places that are doing things. I think it's kind of like I think it's an effect of like, oh well, I see all the other bands playing, like why shouldn't I do it, And I think that it just is an artistic community. I think college towns in general have always been good for music, and I think people feel a little bit more supported in the arts around here than maybe. Yeah, I mean we've toured bigger cities that have way less venues than this. Like it is. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I'll look at like the CVille Weekly and be like, there's 7 good bands playing tonight, and if there was only 2 or 3, they probably all have a better crowd.
Is it almost like the restaurant effect locally? We are spoiled as the diners of the restaurants going to these places because there's so many, but I feel for the restaurateurs because there's so many and the customers are being spread out so much. Is it the same thing?
Oh, it can be, yeah. I mean, I've had nights where, like, we used to joke, me and my buddy Kai has the band Lord Nelson. We're old friends, and we used to joke about, like, starting this text thread, like, hey, I'm thinking about playing a show on September 15th. Is anybody else doing anything? I mean, it's difficult because you hate when you... And then you also have, Willie Nelson comes to town a lot. Things like that happen too. So it can definitely be spread too thin. But overall, I prefer it to be, too many venues to play than not enough.
Oh, well said.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you don't want to be going up against, Willie Nelson. Certain
Millie Winston is watching from the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank. Hello, Millie. Welcome to the show. This show is dynamite right now. Dr. John at Pro Renata is watching.
Nice.
He says the top band that plays Pro Renata right here, and this man's a fantastic front man.
That's very sweet.
John, you, with Rod's help, have built just a phenomenal music venue at Pro Renata. We love your beer. I love the Hop Your Own. It's family friendly. I love everything that PRN stands for. How about this question right here? This is from Carter. What's Coda's drink of choice when he's playing an acoustic set versus when he has the entire band together? That's a great question.
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta say a little brown liquor, right?
I mean, we are often.
I know firsthand here.
We have like if we're doing like a rider situation. I mean, I've honestly, this is kind of lame, but I've been doing a lot of light beer at shows more the last years because we play so many of these breweries that have great beer, but you start
10%
drinking like,
ABV.
yeah, and we don't like
It's
to
just pure hops.
like to get drunk while we're playing. Like sometimes we'll have an after party, and no one's worried about what anyone does at the after party. But I think for an acoustic show, red wine's nice sometimes, or like a nice cocktail that you can sip on for a while. I would say is probably what I would usually do for an acoustic show.
I write that down.
Yeah. Marie. We kind of mix it up. And Marie a lot of times would go with maybe a nice cocktail or maybe a glass of wine. For the acoustic show, I'm trying to think of like. We did one once with this guy. It was a private party in his house. I think it was like for his wife's birthday, and he had this collection of like tequila that had been like made in these tiny stills in Mexico, and they're like had like only 100 of each bottle, and I think they were all super expensive. And so every time we take a break, he's like sampling us all this really fancy tequila. So we'll do anything that's. The story I've told a lot of times is like being young in Nelson County, being at a party, and this guy being like, "Hey, Coda, let me get you a beer. What's your favorite kind of beer?" And I kind of paused. Said I didn't know what to say. I was like 16 years old or something. And
You said yes.
this old guy just says, "Wrong answer, son. Your favorite kind of beer is free, and your second favorite kind of beer is cold." And so that's kind of our mindset. Like if we're playing in a vineyard, or then we'll drink wine, or playing a brewery, we'll have a beer. But yeah, the days of hitting it really hard before sound check are over for us. So.
Jack Gillespie, welcome to the program. Watching in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Brittany Wagner, Alex Arbol, hello and welcome to the program.
What's up, guys?
Cynthia, this one hits right close to home. Coda, haven't seen you at the Hippie Hole in the Tie. When's the last time you've been there?
Oh, the Hippie Hole. It's been.
So I'll give a little background here. Give a little background on the Hippie Hole. I know it well.
I honestly, I grew up near the Rockfish River, so I definitely went to the Hippie Hole sometimes in high school, but I don't go to the Tie as much because I'm not down there as often as I would like to be. I usually go to this spot on the Rockfish that you can actually see it in our Nelson County video. That's kind of where I learned how to swim. But the Hippie Hole's a great spot. There's a handful of really good spots. I think so. I've heard that some of them people are kind of cracking down on, like,
they are,
posting private property signs more and more. But good Nelson County swimming hole is a special thing.
One of my best friends in life lives in Arrington, and he lives right as the road goes from asphalt to dirt. And we'll meet him at his house. We get in the back of his pickup, we load up the tubes, we head to the Tie, we jump in, and we always hang out and enjoy ourselves around the Hippie Hole. And I think it's just one of the best tubing experiences. And I'm almost even hesitant to talk about this on the show, because I know there are a lot of people watching here, because I don't want to blow up the spot.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't want to give away.
You don't want to blow up the spot, right?
Yeah, I'm going to lose a lot of fans. Like, I used to love your band until you gave away our favorite song.
Right. It's completely different, and I'm not throwing shade by any means.
There's a lot of good ones, there's a lot of good ones. And if you get onto like up near Crabtree Falls, the water stays like ice cold all year round, and there's some good spots.
I'm definitely not throwing shade at the James River, but the experience tubing at the James versus the Tie or the Rockfish are completely different.
Yeah.
And I will leave it at that. So here's a very good question. How do you know when a show is a great show, and how do you know when a show is not a great show?
So I would say, you could define these things different ways, because sometimes you have a show where the crowd loves you, but you made a lot of mistakes. But yeah, you can usually, I can feel it whether I'm on the stage or in the audience at somebody else's show. There's some kind of energy I think that we've all probably experienced. Like if you're in the crowd and you feel like this is an epic, great show, then the band is definitely feeling that too.
Sure.
I'd say the worst shows that we've had have been more just the wrong. I think for most bands, it's playing the wrong type of room. If you play for if you're playing like what Marie and I do without the full band, and we play like a frat party, it probably wouldn't go over as well. So it's, a lot of times the worst shows are because you kind of are playing for a crowd that doesn't make sense for what you're doing at the time, I would say. But in general, like if you are at a gig and you feel like, oh, this is epic, I feel this energy, like the band definitely feels that too.
I love it. For Nick, how did the Clifton do with making it through COVID? It looks like it's absolutely booming right now. Great question.
The Clifton is absolutely booming right now. Like I said, I'm doing the events there. Barbara Shiflett handles weddings, and I know both of us are just, it's just nonstop flood of people wanting to do dinners and events. I've got 2 private dinners planned just for tonight. There's always something going on. Somebody having a business dinner, somebody graduating, somebody retiring, somebody coming into town with their business. There's been no shortage of events opportunities that we're looking at, and hopefully that doesn't stop anytime soon. But I will say too,
we played a wedding at the Clifton years ago, and that is a beautiful
venue.
It's really good setup. It sells itself.
Yeah.
Like my job is great because the venue sells itself.
Yeah.
This guy looking sharp like this comes in and has to talk with brides and moms. This job is made for you.
It's a pretty sweet job, Like it's a great spot. Yeah.
He's a phenomenal representation of the Clifton. The event is tomorrow night, 5:30 to 9:30. 5:30 to 9:30 tomorrow night. Coda and Marie in the house. It's going to be the kickstart of a wonderful Thursday music series in one of the best venues in Central Virginia. We'd be remiss not to ask you to close with one more fantastic song. Nelson County? Is that tough solo? Is that tough solo?
It isn't too tough solo. I think I'll do. I just realized I've got one. I got the perfect one to end it with, because I've got. We're talking about Marie, and she's obviously, like I said, she made me do this one by myself. But we got married recently, and I wrote this song like not sitting down to like write like a love song or anything, or I don't, whatever you want to call it. But then I realized we had this a bunch of friends surprised us and did this show at Dirty Nelly's. A bunch of our favorite songwriters, Devin Sproul, Red, Bobby St. Hours, and I played it that night and realized, oh, this is a wedding song. This is like my wedding song. So for those of you who haven't seen Marie and I together, this is one that I wrote a few days before I got married. So. Nice. Let's see, how's it go? Dawn breaks with the dark hymn in my mind. Cold and naked, autumn leaves and rime. And I remember Colorado, skies that wouldn't end. Never worried about the money we didn't have to spend. See your body in the water and smoke in your eye. That open road freedom like nothing ever dies. And I chase it sometimes, but I guess everybody does. That lost and helpless feeling of falling deep in love. If I ever put it all together, if I can learn this is all about. If I ever put it all together, you better look out. Where you might be if you had not come over, if you didn't run into me. No stars are uncrossed through these many shades of blue. I've loved you forever, I know what I put you through. If I ever put it all together, we're gonna twist, babe, we're gonna shout. If I ever put it all together, you better look out. Now the sunflowers are dying on the hill above the lake, and all I ever wanted was to give more than I take. And I can live through the letdowns, the shotgun shells and doves. I just can't get past letting down the ones I love. If I ever put it all together, I can shake all the doubt. If I ever put it all together, you better look out.
That was beautiful,
Nice.
man. Your wedding song?
Yes, it doesn't have a title yet, but yeah, I wrote it. Yeah, we've been referring to that at band practice as the wedding song.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. The show is tomorrow. It starts at 5:30 at the Clifton. We encourage you to get there early. This is the perfect opportunity for you guys to just relax and chill after work. Celebrate Baby Friday. The drinks, the food speak for themselves. I think after today, if you don't have a feel for Coda, he is one of the most talented musicians, guys, we have encountered. And I sincerely and genuinely mean that. I seek where they are playing, and I go to where they are playing. Nick, you crushed it today.
Thanks.
Just an A+ representation of the Clifton today.
Appreciate it.
Coda, you always crush it.
Always.
Cannot wait to see you tomorrow.
I don't know about always, but yeah, we can't wait. Tomorrow's gonna be fun.
We are so pumped. I want to highlight Judah Wickhauer behind the scenes. He's our director.
Judah.
A show like this has a few more moving parts than our traditional talk shows, and he did one hell of a job adapting on the fly here. When you're doing a live show, as Coda knows, anything can happen, and he is undoubtedly our North Star, our infrastructure compass at this network. So thank you, Judah Wickhauer. This is the I Love CVille show, where we feature the best of Charlottesville and Central Virginia. That's all we're trying to do here, guys. Featuring great people that are doing big-time things in a community we love. I'm very grateful for your time today, and we will see you tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. at the Clifton, guys, for something that's going to be truly special. So long, everybody, and take care.
Take care.
Fellas, you absolutely crushed it. He's going to tell us when the mics were off here in a second. That was damn good.
That's fun. Yeah, thank you guys.
Fun.
Thank you guys.
So fun.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah.